Well, Raj, you certainly have an impressive career track record. Now, what do you think are the qualities, that have enabled you to achieve this?
Well, the top three qualities I can think of, obviously, the first would be my ambition. I believe that I have what it takes to get to the top, and therefore nothing will get in my way. That's my first quality. Second quality will, of course, be my experience. I'm talking about 15 years experience in this industry. Third, of course, is perseverance. I'll do whatever it takes to get the job done, no matter what happens. Now, if you see from my CV, I've been nominated as the company's most outstanding employee for the last 3 years running. And in fact, last year I closed the company's biggest deal, worth 10 million ringgit single-handedly. But of course, I can't take all the credit for that. I have a very good team, a strong team of about 20 consultants, and I always believe we have to lead by example to achieve the desired rewards at the end of the day. Now, I believe in the holy trifecta in terms of the different stakeholders, which is the management, the customer, as well as the staff, in order to create a win-win-win situation for all parties concerned.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, Raj, tell me, how do you think you can fit into my client's expansion plans, which I've outlined to you earlier?
Very interestingly, I understand that your company is looking to expand very aggressively to the Asia-Pacific region, as well as doubling your sales turnover. Now, that is a monumental task, but with the right people to helm your company, hopefully you'll be able to reach that target. And I think one of the most important things I can bring to the table is the fact that I can hit the ground running. I have a very extensive network of business contacts throughout the Asia-Pacific region, which you can leverage on. I have the desired experience, and most importantly, I have the drive to grow with the company and the vision which you have at the present.
So tell me, what would be your motivation to join my client's company?
Well, I'm actually quite comfortable in the company I am right now, but I guess that's where the dilemma is. Once, I would definitely like to have more personal growth and to seek out new challenges to be able to test my capabilities and limits. And I think your company would be very ideal for me to do that. And that was an example of an interview with an executive search consultant. Now, as we know, an executive search consultant, or more commonly known as headhunters, are employed by companies looking for talents to fill positions in their organizations. Now, as we all know, these are mainly senior managerial roles or people with very specialized skills. Now, these talented personnel obviously are not those which are active job seekers or someone you would look at the classified newspapers. So a headhunter's role is basically to source out such individuals, put them through a strict criteria, assess their suitability, and provide a short list of candidates to their clients. Henry Lee is a highly experienced headhunter with more than 30 years experience in management training and development and the past 21 years as an executive search consultant. He started his career with MIM, where he managed their qualification programs, and later started a joint MBA program with Bath University, UK. He moved on to being Dean of Studies at Sunway College, then Head of Management Development at PA Consulting Group, a UK company where he also managed the Cranfield MBA program. He then worked his way up to being country head for the recruitment business, thereafter managing director for Future Step Corn Ferry, before starting up his own executive search firm in 2005. The business has grown to being among the top-tier search firms in terms of consulting resources. And now we're going to look at some of the headlines made by the CEO of Captalent, Mr. Henry Lee. One of the headlines which came about recently was with regards to the number of headhunting companies mushrooming around Klang Valley. In fact, a lot of them do not have the necessary experience or the skill. In fact, some of them are even unlicensed. What's your take on that?
Well, Raj, that's true indeed. The barrier of entry to the industry is low. Hence, in the recent years, lots of individuals have ventured into this business, and in the process, they have tried to secure business with major organizations. They were untrained for the profession, and hence in the whole process, we have received, quite a number of complaints from client organization, with regard to the level of delivery that has been provided to such firms.
Right. But with regards to companies who are hiring these so-called headhunting agencies, wouldn't they look at their track record, their credibility before engaging them as a consultant?
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they have their criteria of evaluation, especially for major organizations which require stringent regulations, stringent adherence to track records and so forth, But invariably, there are many client organizations who are unaware of the need, for headhunting firms, to be registered with the Ministry of Human Resource, and hence, they have some of them have selected such organization primarily, based on the cheaper rates that such organizations are prepared to offer.
Right. Now, the perception with regards to headhunting is about just knowing the right people and then connecting them between the employer and the potential employee. Is it as simplistic as that?
Well, I think that is really a fallacy. Headhunting is a process. It is not just networking. It is not just who you know in the industry. It is a structured process whereby you need to understand client needs thoroughly. Consultants then need to understand where would the candidates come from and do the proper research in identifying, target organizations, cold calling, such candidates, and in the process, determine if such candidates, qualify or have met the client requirements before a face-to-face interview is conducted. So it is a structured, comprehensive, disciplined process rather than just who you know in the industry.
Well, that's a very good comment there. Now, we have all these dilemmas which we are facing. What would you suggest be a solution to addressing all these problems?
Well, some of us who have been in the industry for long have actually, been very concerned with this trend of proliferation of headhunting firms that has come in and tarnished the good image, of headhunters in the industry. So a group of us elders have got together to try to form an association of executive search consultants, of which I'm the pro-time chairman. We have formed a pro-time committee, and since last year, we have got down to deliberating and come up with the constitutions and so forth, So we are in the final stages of registering the association.
Right. Now, coming back one step backwards, obviously recruitment are in various forms. You have from the high level ones, the headhunting, all the way down to your temporary workers, and in fact, even further down with your maid recruitment agencies.
That's right.
So how do you differentiate in terms of regulating all these various industries? Is it being all lumped together currently at the moment?
Recruitment firms would need to register with the ministry and obtain a license. This is under Jabatan Tenaga Kerja.
Right.
And all of us are actually lumped together with maid agencies, recruitment
It's the same
agencies.
license,
It's the same license, And we thought it is not so appropriate because the structure of the business, the processes, the way we conduct our business, the ethics that comes with it, the contracts that comes with it, they are all very, very different. You will note that even my firm, has to have Agensi Pekerjaan before the name of the firm, So the full name is Agensi Pekerjaan Captalent Consulting Sdn, rather than just Captalent Consulting.
Now, with regards to this licensing bit, now, if you are required to take a license, and for those who are unlicensed, isn't there some form of enforcement by the Ministry of Human Resource, and isn't there some form of penalty?
Not that I am aware of. I think there are provisions, within the legislations that would penalize firms for not being registered. But there again, the ministry, I think,
lack of
very
enforcement
busy
staff.
and there's lack of enforcement. So unless there are complaints that's raised, there will not be investigation. So you find that there are many firms out there that doesn't possess a license. They're just freelancing, doing business, as a legitimate organization like ours.
I won't be surprised. There'll be fly-by-night companies as well.
Sure, definitely.
I think this brings us to the next headlines which you made recently with regards to your latest initiative to form an association of executive search consultants. Now, I understand you have been in this business for 21 years.
That's right. That's
Also, can be constituted as one of the elders already.
right. That's right.
Right. Now, how did you come about the idea to form this association at the very beginning? And when did this occur?
Well, amongst us veterans in the industry, we have in our engagements spoke with each other on the concern, that there has been numerous complaints in the industry from our clients. Some of us would share the common clients. So sometime last year, I initiated and a group of us got together to try to form this association. And we have now a pro-time committee comprising 9 people. We have drafted the constitution. We have drafted the practices, and the code of ethics, whereby members would need to subscribe to and comply with. And we are now, in the final stages of registering with the ROS. Hopefully, that will be done quite soon, and we'll be prepared to launch an association, and at least, client organizations be aware of such existence of this organization, and that our members are members who subscribe to certain good practices and adherence to the ethics.
Right, that's very good. Now, with regards to you coming up with the idea, was there some event or occurrence which suddenly triggers you, this is something we need to do? Or is it something which has been on your mind for quite a while of time and you decided it's time to turn thoughts into action?
It has been in my mind for quite a while, but it was only last year that we managed to get a group of professionals together, like-mindedness, who share the same concern, and together, we are pushing along to form this association.
Right. So how can this association help with regards to the dilemmas which you're facing in the industry right now, specifically?
Upon the formation of the association, we hope to be aggressive in recruiting members into the organization. By the way, our membership would primarily be corporate members, because unless the company subscribe to such practices, good practices, the individual consultants, would not, follow suit. So we would initiate a heavy membership drive, and following that, it will be mainly creating awareness with companies, with organizations that uses, the services of executive search consultants, that our members are organizations that would adhere to good practices.
Now, coming back to something on a more personal basis with Captalent, I understand you're planning to go regional very soon.
That has been in my mind for some time. I started this firm, Captalent, in 2005, and we have been running very successfully over the past 7 years or so. And currently, my firm has 9 consultants, operating consultants, and this puts us, amongst the bigger organization, the top tier organization. And it has come to a time when I feel, and my consultants are actually quite excited about this, that we should go regional. I think the global scene has changed. Talents, there's a greater mobility of talents, regionally and globally as well, and we see potential, we see synergy, in going regional.
Right. Speaking of regional, which countries have you identified as your first pit stop?
We are currently doing research into the respective countries, and some of the countries that we are looking at, would be Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia.
Not so much Singapore, huh?
Well, Singapore, I think, is a bit crowded,
right?
With major firms being there, But eventually, it's not a place that we have excluded. It's not a geography we have excluded.
Right. Any target date with regards to this big development?
We hope this will happen within the next calendar year.
Right. Now, you were employed as a professionals for many years. Huh? What motivated you to start Captalent?
I would say that, perhaps it was in my blood, to want to venture out, start an organization. But during the couple of decades, during the decades I was in the industry, I suppose, I was just too busy and perhaps enjoying my work, and hence the years just gone by, without me really starting up my own firm. In about 2004, 2005, the company which I was heading, I was the MD of one of the international recruitment firms. The business model changed, and I thought that, that was really a catalyst, for me to say that, well, perhaps it's time, for me to venture out, because I was fundamentally grounded in executive search. So that was how I took the concrete step, in starting Captalent.
So basically moving out from the comfort zone which you have been accustomed to for many years.
Yes, that's right.
Right. So when you left, obviously there would be an agreement which you needed to sign that you would not pinch talents from your previous companies. Is that was what happened?
Not so much talents, but more of their clients. I think they want to protect their clients, their clientele base. There were restrictions, with regard to pinching their clients, but that really wasn't too much of a problem for me. I was a known figure in the industry, and when I started the firm, I just sourced for new clients, and the economy then was vibrant. I didn't have problems getting new clients. But over a period of time, some of the old clients, they had needs and they came to me and so forth, and on a selective basis, I did work with them, but I think by the time they approached me, that was kind of, closer outside the restriction time frame, with regard to me being able to work with clients of my previous employer.
Fair enough. Out of curiosity, how long was the restriction time frame?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now, something I'm sure all our viewers would like to know is, how does one get spotted by a headhunter?
Okay, there are numerous ways, to be spotted by headhunters. I think clearly, if you're in the job market, you got to make yourself visible. And the way to make yourself visible would be to get invited for talks, to deliver, speeches, be very active in networking with the business community.
And of course, do your job well.
Yes, you have to have credentials, because, if you have the credentials, very often the media, will interview and get yourself quoted. I think one shouldn't also be afraid, to approach the headhunters, to be proactive.
That's right. Send your CV and resume.
Send your CV or get to know the headhunters personally, because by and large, many of the senior level vacancies are not advertised. They have been,
That's right.
They are kind of being handled by headhunters, by search consultants. So if you are close, or the top tier headhunters, usually you'll get picked up. They'll approach you.
That would be a win-win situation. One last final question with regards to a comment you made recently. Job selection should be a two-way decision-making process, and there's a risk to the organization's brand if not executed well.
I think that quotation was picked up from somewhere, but let me just elaborate on that. Yes, there is a heavy competition for talents out there in the market. And major firms, especially market leaders, are going for the same talent pool. We have passed a stage, where firms can now take the stance, of being just regarding, employees as employees, that they are doing the interviewees, a favor by inviting them for interviews. I think there is this need to source talents, to look at talents seriously, and if it is a good talent, to pursue and try to recruit such individuals into the organization. And when this is not done properly, it may cause damage to the brand name of the company. For example, candidates are not treated with respect. I've heard stories, of candidates, being put to wait, for a long period of time before being interviewed. And hiring managers are not trained for the interview. They just handle the interview very badly. Candidates walk out, telling us that even if they're offered the job, they would not
Very unprofessional sounding
take,
by the sounds
take
of
the
it.
employment. So yeah, I think companies ought to be aware that they need to handle such processes well enough so that they can be regarded as preferred employer.
Now don't touch that remote control, because right after this break, we're going to get a chance to see beautiful Kuala Lumpur, which is something you wouldn't want to miss. And we'll get a chance to talk more about Captalent.